Yeah, and there's so much, like you said, there's so much. It is very convoluted and complicated. But then fast forward 2024, some of the young people in the youth group start saying that Samuel essayed them. These are high school students who are saying that Samuel touched them inappropriately, had inappropriate contact with them. I don't know what the extent of it, but they start saying that in the youth group to their youth pastor, to the other kids, and the other kids tell their parents. And their parents start coming to Karen and telling her that this is what they're saying. And so Karen does is she shows up unannounced to um, one of the youth days, because they have youth every week, like most churches. She shows up to the youth group and she goes on the stage and she says, "Okay, we're gonna shut the youth group down. There's no more youth group until I say so." She shuts the youth group down, and then she tells the kids who were bringing the allegations that they were liars and that they needed to stop saying those things. And she does nothing about it. What she does is she doesn't reprimand uh, Samuel Bentley. What she does is she takes him on a mission trip to the UK where they have a ramp UK, and then she promotes him on the stage there by saying he's amazing, he's the most godly person I know, he's an amazing father. Starts saying all these things about Samuel Bentley at this conference and she has him on stage. She brings him on stage to this conference, and that's what she did with the knowledge. Now, the alumni now at the same time, 2024, the alumni get together and we all form a group. Me, because I'm an alumni too, so we all form a group together where we start speaking up because some of the alumni have found the information of what happened. They start speaking up, so then we all start speaking up about all of the abuse that we had in that place. And so there's three main alumni. No, there's two main alumni and an ex-teacher that start to really speak up and make videos. One of them is Joey Trebe. The other one was Jennifer Maldonado. And then the teacher's name is Stephen Womack. And you could go to
Yes.
their Facebook page and you can find so much there messages they have. Uh, so then they start to say, hey, do something. There's too much abuse. Not just the essay, but a lot of students are now coming forward saying that they were essayed or they had some sort of other abuse that happened to them. And we
Right.
all start making noise. A lot of students, like over 200 students, making a lot of noise. And what the ramp did was they called us all demons. That's what they did. They got on the comments and they started telling us that we were demons and what you're doing is wrong and how dare you, and you don't even know what's going on, you're just making false accusations. And then in 2026, right, this year, about 3 weeks, maybe a month ago, the ramp comes out with this statement. And in my opinion, it's because the children that were abused went to the authorities, or their parents went to the authorities, and it just couldn't be hidden anymore. And so then the ramp came out and said that they found out, and that Sam Bentley, he said that he did do it. And then and but they made it seem like you have here on the screen, they made it seem like they
Yeah.
didn't know, but they did know since 2024 at
Let me read
least.
just a bit. It says last week, a brave individual came forward reporting that 4 years ago they experienced inappropriate sexual contact by a staff member of the ramp. The staff member involved was Samuel Bentley, and the individual was a minor at the time of the accident. Upon receiving this report, leadership immediately addressed the matter with Samuel. During that conversation, he admitted the allegation was true, immediately terminated. The board of directors were notified, and the matter was promptly reported to the appropriate authorities. Rodrigo, do you believe that those last few statements to be true? Did they immediately, as soon as they learned of this, get the authorities involved?
No, since they knew since 2024, it's 2026 now. So obviously they didn't. And even if they say, "Oh, I didn't know," the students were saying, "Hey, you need to look into this." I
Yeah.
mean, there was
Yeah.
kids in the youth group saying, "This happened to me." As clergy, you're supposed to go to the authorities right away. It's not your job to make your own internal investigation. It's your job to tell the authorities right away. This young person said this happened. You deal with it. Authorities, you deal with them. They didn't do that.
It's not something that you we're going to pray about it. No, you call the police first, then you can pray all you like. Um, well, let's do this. There's a little bit more on the abuse side. This is horrible and this is terrible. I mean, it's off the chart. But before that, there's some can you talk to us about your experience when you were a student, like how much volunteering you were expected to do? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so we were expected as part of the school to do 30 hours of volunteer work. Now, in the student manual, it says that if you do not comply, if you don't meet the 30 hours, you will be fined. First fine is $20, second fine is $75. And if you have a third warning, you might get kicked out of school. And this work was staff work. It was work that they should have paid staffers to do. It was printing shirts for the ramp to sell at their events. It was answering phones for them at their main office. It was going to other churches and events to recruit people for their school. It was I personally what I did was I would demolish houses. I would demo all the houses so that other people could come in and rebuild them. Now these weren't even houses. A lot of them weren't even houses owned by the ramp, but they were owned by individuals who were in high leadership, like Karen. And they bought houses for cheap. We went in there and we broke them down, and they had the students do as much of the remodeling as possible, so then they could then sell them for a profit. And that's
So
the kind of
wait,
work we did.
yeah, the kind of work now, and you did this kind of work, right? So leadership or the big people, the people that you got to learn to keep secrets about, are buying these houses to flip, to completely redo, buying them off of foreclosures or sheriff's auctions or whatever, but buying properties like that and using student labor such as yourself to you the word demo, I know what that means. You're just demolishing and getting the old stuff out of there, and so they're using you as like free contract labor, correct?
Absolutely. And mind you, they didn't give you anything for that work. There was not even any personal protection that they would give you. So you were in there, and these houses, some of these places had so much black mold that I'm not lying when I say this. I would cough up black stuff after I worked there. And there was a lot of other students who told me the same exact thing. It was disgusting. And a lot of these houses that they remodeled, they never treated the mold. They just painted over it. They just hid it behind, new wall, new sheetrock and stuff. They didn't actually even really do a good job because they wanted to do it for cheap.
Wow. Wow. So you guys were like a new ministry, like black mold coffers for Jesus. um
Yeah,
that wasn't funny, but I want to like give, oh my, and so this was a real thing. And if you don't do this black mold ministry, the black mold ministry, and the black dust ministry, you literally could be fined money for not doing your slave labor, right?
yes, yes.
That's kind of wonky. And this was like a one-time thing with one person, or this is the way that it was?
No, this is the way it was. And I'm that it's still that way. You still have to do 30 hours of volunteer work.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Rodrigo, what we might do is I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. Are you willing to come back to the program sometime, like in the very near future, and talk about this some more?
Absolutely, yes.
Um, I feel like we're getting a lot of info. I don't know what this issue is with the audio. Like it kind of comes and goes and comes and goes. Um, and so next time maybe we can spend longer on the check and figure it out. It's never been an issue before, but there were a few questions. I have one dear friend, brother Mike, who is loading me up with info, but he sent me a list of things that he said ask about. So let's try to at least get through this if we can. Ask him about working at the food bank and about him and his brother eating nasty food. What is he talking about there?
So me and my brother, we were, if you were at the ramp at that time, you know that me and my brother, we were the hardest workers. We Nobody outworked us. We would volunteer because we thought we were doing it for God. And
Yeah.
so we would our favorite place to volunteer was it was called the storehouse, which was a food bank that they had. And so it was awesome because we got to help the community. And now the community, the locals don't ramp, and so it was really cool to see locals come there, and we were able to talk to them and just give them food, and it was amazing. Now what happened is that my brother and I, we were starving because, again, you have to work 30 hours, and you have to go to school, and you got to do your homework, and you got to study for the test. And so the other thing is that because the locals don't like it, they don't hire ramp people. And so it's really hard to find a job. And me and my brother, we hadn't found a job. And so we were starving. And we would go to the storehouse, and we would give food out to people. But we were told that, and this was not just for us, for every student, no student could take food from the food bank, even though there was a lot of students like me who were starving.
Well, folks, wasn't expecting some of those issues. And when we always do a sound check when we have a guest on before, and we had no issues whatsoever. So who knows why or whatever. But the good news is this young man's going to come back, and I'm telling you, you're going to appreciate. He will fill in some more details about his experience, but you want to hear about his experience after he got out in 2015 and the life that has unfolded for him in the Lord between then and now. It'll be very, very much an encouragement. And so I really appreciate having my brother Rodrigo. And we just want to let you know that if you'd like to support Ohio for Freedom, I want to say thank you to everybody. We were kind of in a little bit of a temporary tight spot. We had some really sweet, generous response, and we've been okay. The Lord's kept us going this nearly almost year full time. But if you would like to see that continuate, you can go to ohioforfreedom.com, go to our donate page. We have a PayPal link, a bank card link, a Zelle link, and we have a P.O. Box of P.O. Box 344, Mason, Ohio 45040. I'm so thankful to have met a new friend with Rodrigo, and we will keep y'all posted. So until next time, everybody, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio from whence we originate, the United States of America, and we send our greetings to all of our friends in various parts of the world. Good night, y'all. I hear the sweet